One of the greatest challenges we have in Africa is the inability to ponder on salient issues affecting the continent. When we look around the world, we have countries in different continents that are capable of holding their continents together. They are capable of forming alliances to ward off external aggressions. They are capable of fulfilling the great aphorism of Niccolo Machiavelli that one must be a lion in order to scare off wolves. These countries are lions in their continent. Africa does not have such a power, a great power or a superpower. Other countries in Asia, Latin America, North America, and even Oceania can boast of such powers. But in Africa, we do not have countries with powers like that. Perhaps the enslavement of Africans and colonialism became very successful because we do not have such a country that can question and think deeply on the various activities of other foreign powers in our land. Today, we are even more relaxed because brain drain is the in thing in the continent. When young ones are disillusioned about governance and the government in their countries, they find solace in running away. Any little thing, we want to escape from the reality of our continent. And these foreign countries enjoy this. They encourage us to leave our continents. They encourage us to leave the various countries that we have in order to help them build their own lands. They've provided the facility, of course. They want us to come, and we get support from the fact that when we go to their countries, we'll be able to build our realities. We'll be able to focus on whatever we have. That is, and that was the same thing that happened during the enslavement of the Africans before we move on to colonialism. And now we have neo-colonialism in form of brain drain. Let us take a look at South America, for example. We have a country like Brazil that can hold the continents together. Other countries in the continent, from Venezuela to Cuba to Ecuador, can hold their ground. They have independent foreign policies as against what we have in Africa. In Africa, we are relaxed and we depend on whatever decisions come out from foreign powers. China, Malaysia, Singapore can hold Asia together. In fact, the Asian tigers are the miracles of the 20th and 21st century. Do we have that in Africa? There is no particular country in Africa that can boast of being a superpower or a great power that can challenge external forces that are against the continent. This is the main reason why we have to ponder every single day on when are we going to have the African superpower. During the enslavement of Africa, we never had any superpower. We don't have it now. And we are not even building the foundation to have it in future. Meanwhile, the superpowers have established policies and institutions to ensure that the Africans are perpetually enslaved. We do not want to go to the past by talking about the Berlin Conference. Of course, that was when the fate of Africa was sealed and determined. No matter the challenges any country is facing, it is very important and pertinent to build the people of the country. The most effective power is the human capital development. There is no way we can challenge the powers of the world, the great powers of the world. There is no way we can embark on building our geostrategic interests without having conflict with the likes of France, the United States, and Britain. And the main reason why they've been able to defeat different African countries, it is because most of these leaders usually have two options. And the first option is what they go for. The first option is either you support the Western powers, who in turn will protect you personally as a leader, as against your citizens, or you invest in the lives of your citizens. Most African leaders prefer the first stage. They support the foreign powers. They do their biddings while neglecting their own citizens. Most times, when we look at the Asian tigers, what they did was against what the Western powers would have loved. They shunned all Western ideals and they focused on building their own citizens. So today, we talk of China as a great power. We talk of Malaysia as a great power. We talk of Singapore as a great power because their citizens are well aware of the progress and development in their land. And they have been able to invest in their development as against what we have in Africa. China had different challenges, like most African countries, during and after the communist revolution. But China had introspection, went within, and was able to invest in the lives of its people. The first thing and the first part in challenging any country that wants to keep you down is to build the patriotic interest in your citizens. And China did that first by investing in its people. There is no way Africa can challenge the powers in the world without investing in their people. That is the golden rule. But the African leaders are subservient to these foreign powers. They don't believe in investing in their own people because of their own greed. They want to loot and be comfortable. They want the protection of the foreign powers when their people rise against them. And they have been doing that. Every single African leader that had the interest of building its own country, like Patrice Lumumba, Thomas Sankara, Nyobe of Cameroon, they've been able to cut their lives short so that others coming behind them will be sheepish. They will definitely follow the dictates of these foreign powers. The Indians too are not up there in the world, but the Indians have been able to build themselves. The government of India has been able to invest in the lives of the Indians, and today the Indians control different industries in the world. That golden rule is to be adhered to if any country wants to grow. China has done it, India has done it, we have Malaysia, we have Singapore. One expects countries like Nigeria and South Africa to learn from these great countries so that they can build the people of their land. At least these are the two countries that can function effectively with good alliance as the great powers or the superpower of Africa. Today, some African countries are waking up. Our eyes are on Niger Republic, Mali, and Burkina Faso. Meanwhile, we should not lose focus because most of these African leaders, when they come in, they have pro-people policies. But with time, they end up becoming dictators. That is the reason why we should not praise them excessively, especially when the countries they are leading are not standing on a solid foundation. Our eyes too are on Nigeria because Nigerians are questioning their president's rapport with the president of France, Emmanuel Macron. President Tinubu's dalliance with Emmanuel Macron every day, while most Francophone countries are moving away from France, is to be effectively questioned, and Nigerians are doing that. In standing shoulder to shoulder with countries like France, Britain, and America, the African leaders must invest in their people. The people must be patriotic first because these foreign powers, with their institutions, ensure that they create disillusioned citizens in your country. It is the same citizens that they will use against the government. So these two ideas of either supporting them, much to the neglect of your own people, or investing in your own people while you grow gradually and calling off their bluff, is to be effectively studied. The African leaders again prefer to follow their foreign lords while they neglect their own citizens. China would have gone the way of the former Soviet Union because America is trying its best to create division in that land. The Chinese citizens understand what it takes to have a developed and advanced country like China that is united, or a country that is fragmented according to what the foreign powers want. So today we have a greater China simply because the Chinese citizens are patriotic. The African leaders must know that there is no way a country can stand tall in the world without having patriotic citizens. When your citizens are disillusioned, it is not only brain drain that will occur. Those same citizens will lose faith in the growth, progress, and development of the country. Another dynamic point is the love of the homeland. A lot of Africans do not love their countries. Our minds have been baptized away from the homeland by neglecting our cultures and creativity that could make us grow. How can we build a great continent? How can we build our countries when our minds are not in tandem with the progress and development of our land? Most Africans do not really think of Africa as that place that they should be, and that is the reason why these foreign countries encourage the brain drain. One would think that Nigeria and South Africa will take the mantle of leadership and build their various citizens. Citizens whose minds do not love their country, who believe that when they go abroad they will have better lives, and of course it will also be better than what they have in their land. They definitely not have the mindset of doing anything good for their country. How can we build a great continent when our minds have been captured by America, when our minds have been enslaved by whatever is happening in France and Britain? We know more of what is happening in their land than what is happening at our backyard in Africa. That is not a way to build a great continent, and a continent whose people will be proud in what they have. We should not substitute our thinking brains for praying mouths.